It's like one of my origin story. So brother Dane is one of the origin story juga, and also Adam. And thank you, bro, for being one of the inspirer, yeah, inspirer,
Bukan influencer.
and conspirer. All right, so,
Right,
right,
good,
so,
good, good to be here. Thank you for the invite. If I can share whatever that I can share, inshallah, hope that it's going to be beneficial.
Amin, insyaAllah. So usually on the show kita cakap campur-campur lah, as long as we're comfortable. Aku cakap English, cakap Melayu. Yeah, because in my head I process things in Kedah English, so that's how I process
Kedah
things.
English.
Kedah English, you hampa. All right, so okay, bro. All right, I haven't seen you since I think the pandemic started. Gila, kan? Okay, so and the pandemic also has caused more anxiety to single people at the same time, whereby
Can I imagine? To be honest, I mean, I've been telling my wife, Alhamdulillah, that we're married
kan,
because I cannot imagine being stuck MCO without a spouse.
gila. Itulah kan.
MashaAllah, I mean, the patience that the people who are single are facing, may Allah bless them.
Susah tu. So, I mean, dah lah dulu sebelum pandemik pun susah nak cari jodoh. Ni sekarang tak boleh keluar rumah lagi lah susah. And some resort to online and apps. Tak salah, it's just that those things, they have their, kena buat dengan berilmu lah. Because you might fall into scams and so forth. And on shows like this, my show Nak Jodoh is to educate people to prepare. If you want to go website apa semua, bagus. Usaha dan ikhtiar tu penting, tapi kena buat dengan, you know, with some caution. And another caution is usually things about money. Takut fall into love scam, which usually, I think every year love scam nation lose around 2 billion a year, tak silap, in total. Gila. Okay,
Good
so
business.
a good business for the scammers. Can. So, all right. So, and why kita nak bincang, nak tanya pasal finance is usually for women. One of the penghalang is tak ada calon, and then rasa diri tak mencukupi. Sebab apa? Pernah kecundang, pernah kena body shame, rasa it's a, you know, it's one of their roadblocks. For men mainly, it's one is usual excuse is tak cukup duit, tak ada duit. And I believe to be able to prepare untuk kahwin is to have knowledge untuk financial preparation. And what I usually tell the listeners here is usually when people say, "Oh, I'm not ready," well, ready is just a feeling, but what you can do to feel ready is to prepare. So how to prepare? You prepare your finance, prepare your ilmu untuk kahwin, prepare untuk be a parent. One of the other concerns with men is dia orang takut nak to be a father, a husband, and an imam. So those are one of the other fears. But tonight kita focus on finance, and I've already have questions coming in like, oh, macam mana nak invest in real estate and insurance and whatnot. Okay, itu later, kan? But right now, we start with the question of rasa tak mencukupi and how you, which I thought was bullshit back then. Oops, sorry, BS back then, BS back then, and how did you come about that tiba-tiba Allah mencukupi?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Well, first things first. Bila kita kata to set the tone right, we are not talking about other areas, we're focusing on finance kan. So I don't want, people to feel that, oh nak dengar si Adam ni cakap tapi dia cuma cakap pasal finance saja. But that's the purpose of this talk. The purpose of this talk is about financial capabilities, right? And I just wanted to check, ini bila masa kita dah ada jodoh ataupun kita tengah nak cari jodoh?
It's both really, whereby kita takut nak cari sebab rasa tak mencukupi. And bila a lot of cases dia orang dah ada calon pasangan and they've been
tak berani nak take the step.
Tak berani nak take the step. So it's both.
Alright. So basically kalau belum ada jodoh, baru nak cari jodoh, first things first, I'm a very traditionalist kind of approach kan. I require the consent of parents for any jodoh. So it's not that I pergi cari sendiri seorang-seorang, but at the same time, yes, I do pergi cari. That's how I found my wife. But the fact that I found her, I immediately wanted her to be accepted and blessed by my parents. So because blessings of the parents is very, very important in marriage, because you are not marrying just the person, you are marrying the family. It's two families yang bergabung kan bila kita berkahwin. And in terms of finance, bila you dah pasang niat nak kahwin, then you must have a proper plan how to capai the status, financial status yang sesuai. That is why one of the key elements in jodoh is kufu. You need to find orang yang sama kufu or sama level dengan you, because you need to ukur baju di badan sendiri. You cannot be relying on other people's level of comfort or level of success. You need to measure it against yourself. Kalau you nak kahwin dengan anak orang kaya, you kena make sure yang you mampu untuk cover dia punya kos sara hidup bila you dah kahwin. Kalau you tak mampu nak sara orang kaya, jangan cari orang kaya. Cari orang yang sama level dengan you, yang mungkin lebih mudah untuk memahami keadaan finance you. So kufu is very important. That's the first step. The second point, that's the first point, sorry. The second point is, duit ni ikut hukum dunia basically. Dia bergantung pada usaha. Rezeki di tangan Allah, tapi kita punya function is usaha. Usaha yang kita nak buat kena ada strategi. Kita tak boleh sembrono nak cuba sesuatu and expect kita dapat jackpot. Maknanya when you want to do a particular business or a particular career path, etc., you must strategize the kind of revenue yang you boleh dapat, yang praktikal. Jangan expect untuk you nak dapat durian runtuh berpanjangan ataupun even for one time. Expect the normal cost of business, right? Contoh, kalau kita kerja makan gaji, maka kita build kita punya finance berdasarkan gaji yang kita akan dapat, and also berdasarkan estimation gaji tu bertambah macam mana. So kalau mula kerja gaji 3,000 contohnya, janganlah hidup macam lifestyle orang bergaji 10,000. Hidup dengan gaji 3,000 kena gaya orang gaji 3,000. Dalam gaji 3,000 kena make sure ada simpanan untuk nak kahwin. Kalau you betul-betul pasang niat nak kahwin. So, and you have to be realistic. Gaji 3,000 expect nak kahwin hujung tahun, susahlah sikit sebab kos sara hidup tinggi, nak bagi dekat mak bapak lagi duit apa semua. lepas tu nak buat simpanan untuk diri you, dan juga untuk nak kahwin. So you kena ada pecahan-pecahan dia, berapa banyak nak simpan apa semua. Lepas tu you tengok lah, kalau ikut trend simpanan macam ni, berapa banyak yang you mampu untuk nak kumpul to get a comfortable wedding. So that's the second point. You have to live within your own standard, kan? The problem with our society, not with our society, with some people, is that bila you gaji rendah tapi you punya lifestyle tinggi, then you akan resort kepada unsur-unsur yang haram untuk nak dapat that extra duit. Then it's just a recipe for disaster. The moment kita masukkan elemen haram ke dalam sumber rezeki, sumber pendapatan kita, bukan sumber rezeki, sumber pendapatan, maka hilang barakah.
Penting.
Because kita nak ada barakah. Gaji 3,000, kalau ada barakah, boleh give you a lot of contentment, satisfaction. Kalau gaji 3,000 tak ada barakah, tak akan mencukupi. Sama juga dengan gaji 10,000, gaji 20,000. Kalau tak ada unsur syukur, tak ada unsur nak beri balik semula kepada orang, kan? Kita nak kumpul, nak tamak, nak simpan je, maka tak ada barakah, so it's going to go away. You will lose the money easily. But if there's barakah, then insyaAllah akan apa nama ni, the money can grow in Allah's magical, miraculous way. But don't expect the miracle rezeki tu boleh datang macam tu.
Yep.
You need to understand the barakah of 3,000 and the barakah of the use of the 3,000. That's where the barakah comes in. Barakah doesn't mean that your 3,000 grows to become 5,000. Barakah means it expands the utility of that 3,000 to make it sufficient for you. Then you plan, baru you boleh kahwin.
Can you expand more on the syukur, how it extends the barakah?
Basically, you have to look at surah Ibrahim, ayat nombor 7. La in syakartum la azidannakum wa la in kafartum inna azabi lasyadid. Allah says, if you are grateful to me, I will increase it for you. But if you are an ingrate, if you are kufur means to cover the truth. Cover the truth meaning you know rezeki datang daripada Allah, but you are not being grateful to the person who gives you that rezeki, so you are being an ingrate. That's why the use is the opposite of syukur in that verse is kufur. Bukan kafir religion, tapi kufur nikmat. Dia kata you covering the truth. That's the meaning of kufur. If you are in an ingrate, then know that Allah's punishment is very severe. Sheikh Hamzah Yusuf, when he explains this, he says, if you are grateful, I will give you more. But if you complain, I'll give you more reasons to complain about.
See, this is one of the things that syukur is something I always highlight. And bila kita nak rasa mencukupi diri tu, syukur apa yang Allah dah bagi dulu, kan?
And syukur tu needs to be ikhlas lah. And that you need to train yourself. Nah, ikhlas ni for me, my personal self lah. I realize that when you want to be ikhlas, it's a process. You have to, and you can change, you know. You can change yourself to be ikhlas, but you have to train yourself. Why I say you can change? Because I took a look at the hadith by, the story that Sayyidina Umar was walking with the Prophet ﷺ, and then the Prophet asked, who do you love most? He said, I love myself more than I love anything else. And then the Prophet said, no, you're a true believer only if you love me more than yourself. So then they took a walk around the masjid, and when they came back, his son heard the Prophet asked him again, who do you love most? He said, I love you, O Prophet Muhammad. And then the son heard and said, how did you what made you change your answer? Dia cakap, the Prophet said, the discussion lah, I mean, I'm paraphrasing, in essence, on the day of judgment, Umar can't save himself, but the Prophet can save him. So that's how great but the key point that I want to stress here is that Umar changed his heart from loving himself to loving the Prophet instantaneously when he saw that the truth. So that's the same as your ikhlas apa semua. You can change your heart to make yourself ikhlas. And how do you make it? How do you test yourself? Depends on your action lah. When you do it, you don't expect thanks from the creation. You do it to please the creator.
Not to expect something in return specifically.
No, never expect anything from the creation. You be devastated, you be disappointed. Sometimes I give example, the bird that I saved a couple of days ago, sunbird, anak dia jatuh. Liana made a artificial nest. So kita simpan anak burung tu kat dalam tu, malam simpan kat dalam atas bekas yang dikelilingi air supaya semut tak boleh kacau dia malam masa dia tidur. Pagi subuh kita letak dia kat luar, mak dia datang feed him. The moment when we save the chick that fell off from the nest atas bumbung, Liana can confirm this. The mother or the father flew and stopped in front of us. We were sitting to watch kan, and chirp macam cakap thank you. And we were like, Masya Allah, burung pun tahu terima kasih. And then another one terbang on air and chirp at me. Tapi bila anak tu dah besar, it just flew off. Tak ada datang cakap thank you ke apa semua. So if you're going to be expecting gratitude in creation, is a recipe of disappointment. Never expect gratitude from creation. Always, because you don't, for us, kita as Muslims, kita tak payah risau pun. Sebab malaikat dah ada nak record all the good things. What we need to worry is the bad things. Benda-benda jahat yang kita buat, yang itu yang kita kena constantly be aware, must constantly remind ourselves, do istighfar, muhasabah diri, etc. Not the good things. The good things, let it be. If it's meant to be, so that you don't harp on it, because the moment you harp on it too much, then your ikhlas level reduces. Because when you tell, you expect people to praise you. Habis dah ikhlas you.
Ya, macam kita komplain ke Allah, aku dah buat baik ni, aku dah buat baik itu, aku dah buat baik ni, asal tak dapat lagi jodoh aku. I mean,
no, jangan. Don't. Yes, Allah loves to hear us complain. That's what manusia tak suka orang complain. Allah suka kita complain kat dia. Tapi cara kita complain tu kena betul. Bukan complain dekat dia, cakap apa ni dah buat macam ni kau tak bagi lagi. Orang tu aku tengok dekat social media kerja melepak je, dah lah buat macam-macam maksiat keluar dekat ni, tapi kaya, hidup dia senang apa semua. Aku sembahyang tonggang langgang tapi tak dapat kemudahan apa semua. No, that's not the adab to complain to Allah. The adab to complain to Allah is to tell him that you are weak, that you need his help. That's how you complain to Allah. Please help me. Please guide me. Please be my please strengthen me when I'm weak. You know, please lift me up when I've fallen. So complain tu kena ada adab lah. Salah complain lagi dahsyat lah. If you complain, kan tadi ayat, if you complain to me, I will give you more reasons to complain.
Yes.
But
yeah, it's so true.
The manner of not complain lah, manner of asking lah from Allah.
Asking. Kan. What would you say if macam si fulan A ni cakap, ya Allah, kenapa kau buat aku macam ni, macam tu, macam ni, aku baik dan sebagainya, versus a guy macam, ya Allah, in all humility, I'm weak and show me the way, the right path. So yang macam yang selalu cakap, ya Allah, kenapa aku macam ni, kan, kenapa kau buat aku macam ni, would you say that macam, oh Allah, dah kau tanya kenapa kau buat aku macam ni, Allah tunjuklah lagi kenapa Allah buat dia macam tu.
Well, I mean, one thing is that the moment when you ask Allah, kenapa, why do you torture me like this, kan, apa semua kan, it's like you are questioning his wisdom lah. Because he's the master planner, right? You only see, the analogy is like you're a little ant. You are walking through a carpet. What do you see are benang-benang carpet tu.
Yep.
Right? You see color biru, color merah, and then you walk past kan. Or you go in the forest lah. You only see the trees apa semua kan. But Allah's vision is from above. He sees the whole carpet, the whole corak. He sees the whole forest, not just the trees. So he's the master planner.
Yep.
Why are you questioning the master planner? If he has already confirmed, promised you that everything that he does is good. So that means even the bad things that happen is still good for us, if only we knew. Tapi susah lah nak cakap. I mean, you can't use this for people who are currently depressed. You can't go to a person who is depressed, right? Dia tengah depressed. You cakap kat dia, kau kena sabar, Allah tahulah ini. No, that's not the time to go on. Wrong timing to push on this idea of sabar apa semua. Teknik dia kena betul lah. Kalau orang tu tengah depressed, then be supportive, be
supportive,
support,
listening
skills apa semua. It's not about blaming apa semua. When he's back up, then only you can explain all this concept apa semua lah.
Kalau orang tengah down tu, it's not when you kick him, kan?
You lift him up first, then you whack him.
Then whack him. He just standing there. Okay, go faster. That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, okay, katakan a guy nak kahwin, kan? And then dia rasa macam dia dah kumpul, dia tengah cuba kumpul duit, and tapi tak jumpa lagi jodoh. I mean, what can he improve? I mean, the money side and the usaha nak cari jodoh tu.
I think it should run concurrently, and it shouldn't looking for money to kahwin. I would think that it doesn't have any dependent. It's not dependent on jumpa the jodoh. Looking for money and planning your finance doesn't mean that you will get a jodoh. That's just planning. Kalau you dapat the jodoh, then at least you dah cover the finance part, right? So jangan expect dah kumpul duit dah banyak, you akan dapat the jodoh. It's not dia tak
independent lah.
Dia tak selari. Dia tak ada kena-mengena pun. Kan? So you continue to build your finance, build up your fund to get married, but at the same time when you nak cari di jodoh tu, I think the key point to address is that I think the problem is that bila you dah jumpa, katakan you dah jumpa jodoh, finance is a very important point to discuss about. You need to discuss with your jodoh, your spouse, how are we going to live our life with my gaji of let's say 3,000 and your gaji of 2,000, because technically sepatutnya suami yang tanggung isteri, tapi sekarang ni you mengharapkan isteri untuk bantu you, kan? So you need to get her buy-in. You cannot force her. You have no right as a husband to force your wife to give you money. You have no right. It's her money, is her money. Your money, you have an obligation to sustain her.
Yep.
So if you're going to get your wife to share with you, then you need to discuss lah. Set the boundaries. For the girls, she must know that it's her right to say no. But because she wants to share it with the husband, so she is waiving her rights. So bila dah jadi macam tu, then kena discuss. It's not about who brings, once you're married, it's not about who brings more money. It's not about who brings the food on the table. It's about how you complement each other so that your relationship can grow well
Together.
together.
Yeah. And what would you say to guys yang macam who is in limbo, dia who is currently tengah, because I get these cases a lot. The lady would tell me, dia cakap, oh kami dah kenalan 18 bulan, 2 tahun and so forth, and his excuse is still tengah kumpul duit, and there's no definite deadline of bila nak nikah.
That's a simple question, because when you're talking about kumpul duit, it's a finite thing, kan? It's not an infinity, it's not an abstract thing. That's why proper planning needs to be done. How much do you have now? The girl should be asking the guy, how much do you have now? How much do you need for the marriage? The at that time, kalau dah nak kahwin, you should the each other dah patut tahu berapa hantaran yang kena set yang proper lah. Kalau you punya value tinggi, then you kena cari orang yang sama kufuk, yang mampu untuk you punya level. Compatibility, kan? So
kalau dia minta 700 jantung nyamuk,
kalau dia puteri Gunung Ledang, boleh lah.
Okay.
Tapi dia bukan puteri Gunung Ledang. Dia mungkin puteri Pak Leman. So dia bukan puteri Gunung Ledang, kan? So kena faham dia punya demand tu kena sesuai dengan diri dia lah. Tak boleh under value, tak boleh too above value, kan? Tapi yang penting is, kalau suami the guy is saying belum cukup duit, berapa kau nak kumpul? How much do you need? It's not an abstract question. Let's set a goal. So you need this much, let's work for it. What are you doing to work to get that? And also, you must know what is the occupation of your spouse, of your future spouse. Jangan you kerja apa? Adalah kerja sini, kerja ni, kerja business apa semua. No. Kalau you have to do the background check, you have to do the due diligence. In fact, kalau dia dodgy sangat, macam I was watching, someone was asking about bankruptcy search, kan? Go ahead, do a bankruptcy search on the guy. Do a secret search on the guy. If you have the means, ada cara nak buat, pergi dekat bank negara, you boleh dapat the secret punya tu. Bankruptcy, you just go to insolvency, bayar dekat RM15, you boleh dapat bankruptcy search. Nak check tengok dia ni bankrupt ke tak bankrupt. Because it will affect lepas kahwin. Do your due diligence. You must not only for the guy on the girl, but the girl on the guy as well. Especially kalau you kahwin at the later stage, kan? Kahwin umur dah 30-an, dekat ke 40-an tu, you kena buat all this financial check apa semua on the guy or on the girl. Kalau muda-muda mungkin 25, 24 tu baru habis universiti, tak adalah risiko untuk dia bankrupt tu kurang lah sikit. Tapi dia punya risiko is tinggi bila dah lama kerja.
What would you say yang kalau orang punya excuse, tak apalah, tak payah check ni, husnuzon je?
No. That's a red flag for me. That's a red flag for me, because if I'm nak kahwin dengan you, I should have nothing to hide on that score. That's not something that is a secret. It shouldn't be a secret, right? Kalau dia start nak cover, nak protect, nak ni apa semua, then that's a red flag.
Yeah, red flags, financial red flags we have to watch out for. And
Yeah.
like Adam suggested, there are ways to find out dia punya finances, like CTOS, secris, bankruptcy, insolvency punya status. And okay, so the communication about finance is very important. Sometimes hantaran mas kahwin diminta tinggi sangat kan. You probably read that somewhere macam kalau ada degree 10,000, doctorate 50,000 macam tu kan. There's rates in our society that set. So the guy pun would probably rasa macam mahal sangat lah, aku kerja contohlah dispatch, macam mana aku nak
So your contoh is that lelaki tu kerja dispatch, dia punya tunang dia tu ada PhD. Mana kufuk dia? Where's the kufuk?
Tapi dia orang suka sama suka.
Dia suka sama suka. The syariat is very clear on kufuk. You're gonna get, not to say that it will definitely end up in bad marriages, but I'm just saying that the Sharia has set the kufuk standard to be there for a reason. Yes, you take a standard deviation untuk the graph, the bell curve kan. It can doesn't mean that it will fall. Dia ada margin of error kan. So margin of error tu mungkin boleh survive, mungkin akan ni. But the common data punya selection, kalau kufuk baru you senang nak bahagia. So the moment you know that you're going into with a PhD, you kena tahulah dia punya cost tu tinggi. Takkan like, kalau lelaki tu nak komplain kata mahal lah hantaran, lelaki tu lah samdul. Kau nak pergi kerja yang tinggi-tinggi, kau expect harga murah-murah. Come on, man.
Yelah. Macam aku mampu bayar mahal tiap-tiap bulan, tapi aku masuk Lamborghini showroom, mahal lah.
Dia masuk Lamborghini showroom nak kata ni mahal lah.
Mahal lah. Boleh tak bayar
logik lah macam tu.
Contoh. It's the disparity of managing expectations sendiri pun penting.
Yes, you need to manage your own expectation. But I think it's a matter of kufu. Kalau you sekufu dengan orang tu, then the price should be within your reach lah. Right?
And would you say that it is unreasonable to have mas kahwin yang tinggi sangat because dia menyusahkan yang halal? Sensitive ni kan, sensitive issue.
Tough question. You know why? Because nombor satu, mas kahwin biasanya selalu murah je.
Yep.
Mas kahwin tu untuk yang nak menghalalkan tu murah je. I think RM300. Yeah. My mas kahwin to my wife was sebentuk cincin berlian. In fact, I couldn't even remember the price. But it was more than the RM300 lah. So bila imam tu tanya, berapa harga cincin tu? Mahal.
2 bulan gaji.
Mahal jawab dia kan. But you are hantaran is to show is a standard or set mostly by the society lah kan. But it's not a price that is not negotiable. Hantaran is always a negotiable punya price kan. Mas kahwin yang kita non-negotiable lah, ada minimum amount kan. Minimum, yeah. So dia bergantung pada to show how much you want to sort of pay for the marriage lah. You know, you're paying of this. But it's a tough question. I think reasonable family would set reasonable price, and the reasonable price is usually reasonable, you know. To I don't know, what do you think? Orang yang set hantaran yang tinggi-tinggi ni, patut ke dia set tinggi-tinggi sangat? So kau tak tahu jawapan, tanya wifi.
Yeah.
Dia
Adam is
sumber dia
asking his censorship board.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of you need to discuss beforehand, right? You need to it should have been part of the discussion kalau nak kahwin apa semua. Takkan ni tiba-tiba pergi dah terkejut, kan? Nak 34,000?
I didn't bring my checkbook.
You patut
So-
dah discuss. But it's usual, kalau you dah set the price, then you kena check lah you punya finance. Berapa you boleh bawa pendapatan you, nak simpan apa semua, nak achieve that figure apa semua. I don't know. Tak pernah tengok orang letak yang terlalu tinggi, tapi I pernah dengar orang letak harga yang lagi satu tak mampu, so dia kata mahal. It's a very subjective punya word kan.
Yep.
Mahal ni macam mana? Kalau kau miskin memang ada mahal. Kalau kau kaya, benda tu seciput. In fact patut increasekan lagi. So depends on where is your Azwali kata see my level lah.
See my level. To put it into context, usually mahar mas kahwin is biasanya ada minimum depending on the state kan. 300, I think Selangor still 80 kot. And yang itu wajib, itu hadiah kepada suami kepada isteri. Tapi adat hantaran,
it's not hadiah. Is to pay for your access to your wife.
Interesting way of putting it. Explain more.
Marriage is a contract. There must be a consideration. So the consideration is the mahar. What you get is that you get the wife. And it's actually for you to, I'm just saying it openly, bluntly, is for you to have access to be intimate with your wife. Sebab tu you kalau ijab kabul, kalau kata aku jual anak aku, dia tak sah kahwin. Dia mesti sebut nikah. Aku nikahkan di kau, atau dalam bahasa lain, bahasa yang sama maksud dengan dia, aku kahwinkan engkau. Kenapa nikah? Nikah tu is towards sex. You cannot use other words. Because the whole point is about that. It's about sex.
Mainly that.
It's to halalkan that relationship. And it comes with all other things. Berani tebas, berani pikul.
And that money is for the wife, not for the parents. Bukan untuk belanja kahwin.
Mahar is for the wife. Yeah, mahar is for the wife.
Because there are some extreme,
boleh share.
Because there are some extreme cases where the parents letakkan mahar tinggi-tinggi sebab nak belanja untuk kenduri kahwin. Parents
Itu
yang
bukan
nak
mahar,
belanja.
biasanya dia letak mas kahwin lah. Dia letak hantaran.
But
Hantaran dia letak tinggi nak cover cost.
Tapi itu menyusahkan yang halal. Itu problem.
Menyusahkan yang halal sebab kalau dia dapat suami lelaki yang tak mampu. Kalau dia jumpa lelaki yang mampu, itu tak menyusahkan kan?
Bro, the situation is usually sekarang ni macam ni rata-rata generally women are better educated and make more money. Men are slightly lower. So expectation parents of the girl tu biasanya lagi tinggi, kan? And it's difficult it's becoming a social issue. Di mana mahal lah, tak boleh lah, tak mampu lah. Tapi parents the girl tu yang menyusahkan.
Banyak permutation lah Zuri benda ni.
Banyak,
you kena tengok dari segi umur perempuan tu kan. Umur perempuan tu dah sangat lanjut ataupun masih lagi muda. Kena tengok umur lelaki tu juga. Lelaki umur 25 tahun, lepas tu you expect hantaran 100,000, memang confirm lah kawan, in normal lelaki 25 tahun takkan mampu.
Normally kalau dia anak Sultan Ismail Ulam Raja,
itu dah standard deviation. That's all the marginal error ataupun the outliers of the normal data plot. The normal data plot umur 25 tahun, lelaki baru start kerja 2 tahun, gaji kalau dalam 3,000 macam tu, You mana dia nak expect dia nak boleh fork out 100,000. Kalau dia nak fork out about 10,000 pun, itu pun dah kira quite a lot of money. Dia kena save properly. I would suggest dia buka ambil ASB, simpan duit dalam ASB. I would suggest dia ambil finance, ambil Islamic finance, financing for ASB. Take for 20,000 yang 1 year punya, for example. Because at the beginning of the year, kalau you ambil that kind of financing for ASB, right? So that means at the end of the year, katakan you ambil RM10,000. So at the end of the year, RM10,000, you akan dapat the dividend for RM10,000 as though you have had RM10,000 in the account for the whole year. But if you simpan sikit-sikit RM100 sebulan kan, untuk nak sampai ke 10,000 tu lama, jauh kan. So you rugi on the dividend of the ASB. Kalau ambil financing, then you akan jadi disiplin, you kena bayar kan.
Okay.
My former boss cakap, if you don't fill up your ASB as Bumi Putra, rugi, sangat rugi. Fill it up.
Interesting. You're suggesting that ASB account as a hantaran?
No, I'm suggesting in keeping your money as in ASB to build your net worth, to build your revenue, to build your as an investment tool, right? So kat situ dah ada, at least dah ada. So kena tunggulah maybe 1 or 2 years, you will be able to get a certain sum depending on how much you can pay per month apa semua. Take the financing for that period of time. Then bila you dah nak kahwin, then you cairkan, you leburkan the financing. So yang mana yang dah boleh dapat, you akan dapat. Yang mana yang lain tu dia akan dia apa? Dia prorate kan. So tak payah bayar the rest tu, then you dapatlah balik that amount. So at least you dah ada satu sumber duit yang you boleh dapat, yang you simpan kan. Kalau you simpan bawah bantal je, dia punya profit dia tu kurang daripada kalau you ambil macam financing kat ASB, which is a better option lah.
Okay, I mean there is an alternative lah. Sebaik-baiknya tak ambil financing or hutang untuk berkahwin. Sebaik-baiknya.
No, this is not hutang untuk berkahwin. Ini is ini ASB. So you ambil financing untuk 10,000 ASB, for example. Say katakanlah for 5 years. So in 5 years, if you continuously pay, then you akan dapat 10,000. So kalau you punya plan nak kahwin dalam masa 5 tahun, then you ambil this kind of financing, in 5 years time, you akan dapat 10,000 campur dividen. Bukannya you kalau you simpan dekat bawah bantal, in the same amount will probably lead you to in 5 years time to get 10,000 juga. Tapi there's no bunga profit. There's no the dividend of ASB tu you tak dapat. So kalau you celik investment, then you akan nampak there's a element of faedah, not interest. There's an element of profit from the dividend yang you dapat because of your financing. So kalau you start daripada today, January kan, you start simpan 100, let's say you save RM300 sebulan untuk nak kahwin. Be realistic lah. Kalau you betul nak kahwin cepat, you kena simpan banyak lah. Save lah duit betul-betul. So you save 300, you want to save 300 because your gaji 3,000. Tolak EPF, budak, maybe you boleh save 300 a month, which is quite a lot of money. So you ambil ASB yang you bayar RM300 sebulan from January. That means dalam ASB account you dah ada RM10,000. Tapi you can't take it out because that one is charged to the bank.
Alright, you only take the risk and service the
you financing. Just service the financing every month, 300. After 1 year, you will get dividend for 10,000 ringgit.
For 10,000. All right.
Right? If you had saved 300 ringgit a month, in 10 months you baru dapat 3,000. In 12 months you dapat 3,600. So you akan dapat dividend of 3,600. Itu pun tak full sebab in January it was only 300.
Yep.
Only in December baru dia naik 3,600. So the
Hmm.
dividend akan prorate.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you akan dapat only let's say kalau you dapat profit of 100 ringgit lah contohnya for 3,600. If it was 10,000, you might have gotten 800 ringgit
Hmm.
within the year. So
Okay. All right.
you see, by just paying the same amount, 300 a month, you have to do the maths lah. I'm just giving an example. The same amount that you service financing for ASB and the same amount you simpan dalam bank, end of the year you akan dapat a dividend higher kalau you ambil financing. So that's a good investment opportunity. So in 5 years time, you get your 10,000 ringgit and also you get 800 for 5 years. That's what, 4,000 ringgit?
Yeah, true. You just have to take a bit more risk.
1,600, 800 times 4. No, actually it's 4,000. No, 3,200. I don't know, my maths is quite bad lah. 4,000 lah boleh dah jadi lah.
But it's a viable model nak kumpul duit lah kan?
Kumpul duit, I've heard people who have done it untuk kahwin. Dia dah target nak kahwin 5 tahun, so they start saving, dia buat ambil financing for 5 years. In that 5 years time, dia dapat the 10,000 yang dia save tu plus the dividend. Because every year we should be expecting gaji kita nak naik juga.
Yep.
So lagi naik, lagi tinggi dia masukkan, lagi cepat dia service. So eventually dia dapatlah duit tu.
Practical. There's a practical tip to go about it. Kan? Nak kumpul duit. 5 years feels too long. Aku nak kahwin esok juga kan. Macam mana tu? Kalau boleh aku nak kahwin minggu depan dah. Macam mana? Bukan aku.
Yes.
Contoh.
Nah, kalau lelaki nak kahwin minggu depan, hari ni baru rasa nak kahwin minggu depan terus, itu pun bagi I is a red flag. Because how prepared are you to get married in 1 week's time? Normally orang akan kata aku nak kahwin at certain age, then dia akan work very hard to reach that level. Kerja, simpan duit apa semua. Ada a friend of mine, dia target nak kahwin in 1 year, tak ada jodoh lagi masa tu. Dia kerja untuk kumpul duit apa semua. Masuk tahun tu, alhamdulillah jumpa jodoh tu, dah boleh terus kahwin. Dia book day one dulu beforehand, bro.
Book day one dulu.
Dia punya confident level yang dia akan kahwin kan, dia
Itu
book day one dulu. Lepas tu dia letak set pressure dekat diri dia untuk pergi cari orang apa semua. Allah buka rezeki dia dapat. Alhamdulillah, I think 3 orang anak sekarang. Kaya, Masya Allah.
That is confidence kan. We have to interview this guy. They get me in touch with him.
Confidence bukan dekat diri dia tau. That's confidence in Allah.
Betul. That's very important. I think that is the key thing, confidence in Allah. Having faith. Like what you said, macam what you did in 2008, I thought that was BS. And then kau cakap kau nak kahwin, kau dah set niat nak kahwin, tiba-tiba kau dapat offer kerja baru. And then made it easy for you to kahwin. I thought that was BS until it was my turn. Aku pun macam okay, aku dah set niat nak kahwin, aku sambil usaha, suddenly I got a job offer which was triple my salary at that time. Like, suddenly I can afford to get married. Kan?
Bro, I punya niat nak kahwin was way before 2008. I always set my target, I nak kahwin at the age of 25. Because the Prophet got married at the age of 25. Tapi I wasn't prepared to get married to a lady of 35 years old lah. or 35 to close to 40. Yeah, I wasn't prepared to go on that route, but I was prepared. I wanted to get married at 25 because if he got married at 25, then there should be some. To me lah, I was thinking that's a significant age to get married lah. So I wanted to get married at 25. I got married when I was 25 in Hijri calendar because it was in April. Kalau Gregory calendar, aku punya birthday in July, aku belum 25. Tapi
Belum.
Hijri calendar, I was already 25. So I
lambat.
tell people I got married at 25.
Lambat sikit. Depending on which calendar you're using.
But it was long before. Dah lama dah tu. And the plan was memang dah pasang niat, usaha, cuba cari jalan nak buat kerja-kerja merepek untuk nak buat duit ni apa semua. Dapat buat production hijrah remaja. Kat situ tiba-tiba ada sumber rezeki untuk nak kahwin, simpan kan. Lepas tu kerja. And then my mother-in-law cakap nak kahwin. Masa tu I was on contract. Dia kata nak kahwin kena kerja tetap. So I was waiting, dapat government kerja tetap. Settle lah, jalan lah.
You weren't just waiting, you put the ikhtiar into it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, but there was a time when I was unemployed for about 6 to 7 months because I was confident in Allah that I would land the government job, which takes about that long time to give. Because I passed the 2 interviews, but I was waiting for the call. I was somehow or rather I just had that confidence in Allah, and I was just waiting for that job opportunity to come. I was waiting, and then alhamdulillah Allah works in His ways. I got the call for the job, and then I joined the judiciary at that time.
Jadi lawyer?
No. That time jadi judicial officer. I didn't become a lawyer first because I didn't want to do my chambering. Chambering is a tough period for lawyer. I wanted to skip that, so I joined the service.
I
joined the service for after 1 year you get exemption, but I was there for about 5 years eventually.
Okay, all right. Cool.
So you strategize. You have to strategize, but you have to have backup plans, etc. If you're planning to go in one direction, then you must have backup plan. You can't put all eggs in one basket. You need to have a few opportunities. Yeah, I just got a very good tip the other day from a very prominent Islamic finance punya guy. Dia cakap, I asked him, how do you overcome the feeling of being rejected when you get rejected for a deal? Then he said, he didn't answer that question because he said, you should not focus on one deal. You should be focusing on multiple deals at the same time, so that you don't have time to feel bad that you lost one, because you have a lot of other options. So usaha.
No, the key itu usaha lah. Tapi ta'aruf tak boleh more than one at a time.
But I mean, I told some people kan, I cakap rezeki ni memang kat tangan Allah. Allah wa tarzuqu man tasha' bighairi hisab. When Allah wants to give, He can put no boundaries. He can give you. Kalau dia nak bagi, dia boleh bagi you memang unexpected, right? But to get that blessing of rezeki, you need to have usaha. You must put effort. So if you want rezeki kahwin ke apa semua, then you have to put in the effort. But you have to be smart in putting in the effort. You tak boleh sombrono. You must be strategic. You must have proper planning apa semua. Because usaha yang bersungguh-sungguh tak semestinya akan dapatkan you rezeki yang banyak. Kalau you tengok, I've always tell people, and between myself and yang kerja sapu sampah kat tepi jalan, effort wise, I think they work harder than me. Kalau you nak kata dia in terms of mengerahkan tenaga untuk kerja, Dia orang kerja buruh ni jauh lagi banyak kerja lagi keras, right? Tapi dia punya the pay is different. So dia bukan pasal semata-mata kepada kerja keras, kerja yang keras ya, tapi it's more about strategic kind of work smart and work hard. You have to work hard, but you must also work smart.
I think one of the problem where orang cakap nak kahwin jodoh lambat sebab tak cukup duit. So one of the problem is how much is cukup. They don't plan have a number in mind. So how can you please stress to people like please have a plan, be definite, have a number in mind.
Have a figure and work towards that figure. It's a very simple. Kalau you buat business, kalau you kata saya nak jadi seorang usahawan yang berjaya, you have to ask apa tu usahawan yang berjaya.
It's so subjective.
It's so subjective, right? You nak kahwin, nak cukup duit, how much is the cukup? Kalau hantaran 5,000, sekarang kahwin masa COVID is much cheaper. I just have acquaintance yang kita orang kenal got married, RM2,000 dah settle lah.
Kan? Yep.
Tak payah buat majlis. In fact itu pun dia buat majlis, dia buat makan dan dia hantar-hantar dekat orang apa semua. Tak payah jemput orang. Orang pun tak tersinggung kalau you tak jemput orang tu kahwin.
Harap tak dijemput sekarang.
Haram untuk jemput. Better time ni lah paling bagus time untuk nak kahwin. You save a lot of money.
Yeah, seriously. Aku pun I keep suggesting to people, now is the best time to get married. It's cheap.
Best time.
So affordable. Because I usually tell a story where macam students abroad, they orang nikah, kahwin, and sometimes they just have a bucket of KFC. Sebab it's just to celebrate and to announce that they are married, to mengelakkan fitnah. You don't have to, to spend so much. Can
I mean, the difficulty, I think the difficulty of me answering your question just now is probably because ada setengah orang okay dengan cara kahwin macam tu. Ada setengah orang tak sesuai untuk kahwin macam tu. Dia kena jaga hati dia punya parents, because wedding is mostly your parents' affair kan.
Yep, true. Very true.
So you kena jaga hati parents apa semua. So walaupun dia nak kahwin simple, tapi kalau parents dia nak banggakan, nak berbangga dengan anak dia dah kahwin apa semua, dia kena respect benda tu juga. That is not that's the only way. Cheap way is the only way untuk kahwin. No, that's not right. But if kahwin yang sangat kaya menghalang kepada orang untuk berkahwin, that's not right also. So I find it a very difficult way to find the balance, because it depends on the person and the family, various permutation that leads to it.
You know what I did that is so cheeky? Sebab aku nak kahwin, I want it my way. Aku cakap kat mak aku, nak kahwin lari. So, jangan. Okay, what do you want? How do you want it? Yes. I leverage that way. Nak kahwin lari ya, kahwin cowboy. I put on my cowboy hat. This is how I'm doing it. Yeah, kahwin lari. So, okay, nanti I bawa balik tunjuk kat ibu siapa. It's like, jangan. I went to an extreme to get, my middle path. So,
if it works,
it worked for me.
If it works, why not, kan? You know your own parents. You know how to negotiate with your own parents, lah.
That's how I negotiated.
You leverage on things, kan? That's negotiation, art of negotiation. But if you negotiate tak dapat juga, then I think respect of the parents is definitely high. You have to respect parents. No, I mean, Kau
that
fikir
strategy.
kau fikir macam ni
Ah,
kalau mak perempuan tu nakkan something kan untuk kahwin. Let's say dia minta RM10,000 for example. Kan? Kau betul-betul tak mampu kan. So kau jumpa tu untuk cakap boleh tak negotiate ke apa semua. Dia tak nak ubah, dia nak 10,000 juga apa semua kan. Kalau kau kahwin, lari apa semua, kau tak dapat barakah tu. Anak perempuan tu tak dapat barakah mak dia untuk nak kahwin. Then buat apa nak go all out on that. There are various other ways to go about it. Doa ya muqallibal qulub tsabbit qalbi ala dinik wa ala taatik. Oh possessor of hearts. Kalau nak, aku punya style kalau nak negotiate dengan orang is always to ask Allah to win the battle of the hearts. It's no point. Sometimes you cakap macam mana pun, your point just tak masuk kepala orang tu. You nak negotiate macam mana pun, dia tak boleh masuk. Tapi kalau you dah doa dekat Allah untuk control opponent you punya heart, senang sikit battle.
minta Allah lembutkan hati.
Lembutkan hati dia because dia yang control. Dia boleh keraskan hati kau, dia boleh keraskan hati kawan tu langsung telaga. Tapi kalau at least one tip lah, doa kepada Allah untuk minta lembutkan hati tu. So
Probably the biggest tip.
Barakah of the parents is very important. Kufu is very important. Kalau unreasonable, then minta doa untuk reasonable kan. Tapi it could be harga tu memang reasonable. It's you who is being unreasonable to say that is expensive.
Yeah,
Could be juga kan. Apa ni, tak tengok ke aku handsome macam ni, patut dapat 5,000 je lah. Kenapa nak bagi 10,000? Contohlah.
Yeah.
Kalau dah handsome macam tu, bagi je lah 10,000.
Dulu rambut kau tak panjang.
But you have to be, it's difficult. I cannot, tak boleh nak jawab lah Zuri. Susah because you kena tengok from various angle, various permutation to this equation.
True. There's different. It's always case by case basis, kan?
Case by case.
Yeah. And so kadang hantaran tinggi. Kadang hantaran tu kita rasa tinggi. The guy akan rasa tinggi kalau dia tak mampu. So it comes back to it's several elements where hantaran tinggi tapi dia sebenarnya actually tak tinggi, the guy yang rasa tinggi, kan? And then whereby the sekufu is very important. Sekufu orang Jerman cakap compatible lah. Compatible tu bukan, it's not just personality dah kahwin, aku dengan kau sesuai, we can roll.
No. Kufu is intellect level, family, social status family. Kalau wife tu dah biasa ada maid, then the kufu is that you have to provide a maid. Kalau wife tu dah biasa naik kereta, then you kena provide a car. Tu baru kufu. Because kalau you bawa motor, dia naik kereta, then dia yang kena waive dia punya ride.
True. Yep. So, yalah. Obviously, akulah maidnya sekarang.
Aku pun cuci botol tu. Aku marah anak aku. Berhentilah minum botol, penat aku basuh. Susu botol minum dari cawan tak boleh ke?
Okay, so recap balik tips. One is one of the nak kumpul duit, plan ahead, have a definite number. Satu, kan? Because kalau duk cakap bergai macam sembang kencang je, oh nak kahwin, tapi don't have a definite number, tak ada goal, no actual goal.
Itu red flag lah. Kalau dia tak boleh nak letak number, maknanya dia stalling,
kan?
Dia stalling, dia tengah buying time. Then red flag lah. kau betul nak kahwin, discuss lah berapa jumlah. Okay, kalau kita nak kahwin sekarang, kalau you nak buat bisnes pun macam tu juga. Nak buka kedai, okay, berapa modal nak beli meja, nak beli kemah apa semua. Berapa modal nak beli bahan mentah untuk nak start buat apa semua. You kena tahu you punya stock, you punya cost, you punya macam mana nak jual apa semua. Semua costing sama macam nak kahwin. Berapa jumlah kos dia apa semua. Lepas kahwin, macam mana dengan kos perbelanjaan seterusnya apa semua. You sanggup share you punya gaji dengan I, kan? Maybe for you tolerate I untuk a certain period of years. Let me work my way so that once I reach a certain level, then you boleh relax and jadi tai-tai kat rumah. Then these are the plan. You have to plan.
Itu semua kena bincang sebelum kahwin.
Oh, wajib. Wajib discuss.
I mean, one of the concerns and one of the things I always try to stress to the ladies especially, you have to ask, discuss these things. Kena tanya. All these
Set
things
the expectation right.
Yeah.
Set the expectation right. You don't want the situation where mismatch of expectation. Habis lah.
Can. And yeah, kena tanya. I mean, the concern of the ladies biasanya dia orang takut nak tanya these questions is because nanti dia takut dengan number tu, dia takut dia lari lah. So the guy lari kan macam mana?
Then he's not good enough lah.
Exactly.
That's the red flag.
That's what I keep trying to tell them. It's like, okay, then he's not your match. Then say Alhamdulillah. So the next time, next one, move on.
Yeah.
Next one will come, inshallah. And yes, definitely.
Kita susah Zuri. Pasal apa? Pasal kita dah kahwin. Memang susah nak explain dekat orang yang tak ada jodoh. Sebab orang yang tak ada jodoh, dia akan kata kau apa tahu kau dah kahwin.
We've been through this lah. We've been through that, kan?
Tapi we were lucky.
Not luck. Allah bagi. Kita minta kat Allah. That's the difference.
I mean, if you use that line, my counter argument is, you think kalau aku belum kahwin lah contoh, you think I don't ask from Allah?
Okay.
How are you going to respond that?
Fair enough.
So
aku doa apa?
Aku doa agak. You think you're better than me? This is very sensitive. Jodoh ni is a very sensitive punya point kan.
Very bro.
And your effort is commendable because you are trying to match people. Orang yang ada needs and orang yang two people who are looking for each other. Kau macam bank lah. Orang ada duit nak simpan extra money, nak simpan kat bank. Orang yang perlukan financing pergi kat bank. So that dia boleh matchkan the surplus and the deficit you need. So macam-macam kau, which is commendable thing. Cumanya is that I think your stock lelaki you kurang kan?
Yeah. I freely admit it. Memang stok lelaki orang kurang.
Stok lelaki kurang. Pasal lelaki lagi tua, dia lagi mahal. Perempuan dia punya society punya pendapat, lelaki lagi tua lagi mahal. Perempuan lagi tua dia punya yalah dia nak mengandung lebih banyak apa semua pun berkurangan apa semua kan. It's common lah macam tu. Which is a problem.
It is a problem. Ageism. Maybe I should rebrand also or to Jodoh Bank. Jodoh Bank. Interesting.
Bank Jodoh.
Bank Jodoh. Do I have to apply to Bank Negara for that?
Maybe Securities Commission lah. Ini under Islamic Capital Market lah. Sebab you nak build human resource kan. Human capital. Dia under capital market lah.
Kena bincang dengan HRDF sekali. Okay. So, guys, one is have a definite number then plan towards it. And don't just sembang kencang, have that number, plan for it lah. But before having that definite plan, definite number, bincang dulu between pasangan jodoh tu. It's like how much do you expect untuk perkahwinan dan walimah apa semua, hantaran dan sebagainya. The majlis walimah dan perkahwinan. What is the expectation lifestyle?
I think if you get the right hierarchy in, macam contoh bila Nabi cakap first look for agama kan, second you look for can't remember the sequence lah, but the wealth, the family, the lineage,
beauty,
those things kan, beauty.
iman.
Kufu is also part of that. I mean, not mentions. I'm not sure they mention atau tidak, but kufu is one of the item lah. But ultimately, if you look for deen, then you will definitely be. You look for religion, then you definitely hit the jackpot. But
True.
it's the problem is that I don't know. I don't even know how to solve this problem, but it's a big problem, which is
It is. Because the society punya expectations sekali tau. Parents punya expectation, society.
Orang tu pun mungkin dia punya standard terlalu tinggi. Dia kena lower down dia punya standard.
But I usually advise standard of lifestyle, standard pasangan tu jangan low. But lifestyle tu is up to you. As in macam because you're intelligent doesn't mean you have to bodoh-bodoh.
Oh no.
No, definitely not.
Never. I disagree entirely that you need to be to ni yang Prof Mohaya punya issue tu lah.
Yeah.
No, of course I disagree that. I mean, I'm not talking about what she said. I think in her context is totally different. I've written something about it. What she said, what I think I understood from what she said is not you kena bodohkan diri you untuk nak dapat pasangan.
Yeah. Setuju.
But and I if that was the case, I wouldn't have agreed, because you need to match you punya intellect dengan your spouse.
Yes, true.
You must kalau you punya intellect tak click, you're gonna have problem. You need to kufu lah.
Kufu, compatibility, intellect. Kufu.
Once dah tangkap, you nak manja-manja dengan cara tak tahu buat ni. My understanding of what she was saying is that manja gedi macam tu. It's not about lower down so that kufu tu tak serasi, because you should never compromise on your kufu. So lowering your standard is because what I'm saying when I say lower your standard, it means if you think you are too high of yourself, to think too highly of yourself, that's when you need to lower down untuk you sama level dengan kufu you. That means you overvalue diri you lah. You tak boleh undervalue, you tak boleh overvalue diri you.
So the key point was humility lah.
Not humility. Humility means you are being humble, but you recognize your value. I don't think when you say humility, it means, I mean, I'm smart. I know I'm smart, but I don't brag that I'm smart. But I don't make myself dumb. I don't tell people that I'm dumb.
And jangan tunjuk pandai. No one likes a show off.
Show off pula tak boleh. So it's moderation. The kufu, you need to have that kufu. Nak cari orang yang compatible ni susah.
Yeah.
Sebab tu
jodoh bank.
My teacher kalau dia cakap bila orang nak cuba cari jodoh tapi tak jumpa, dia punya argument is very simple. Patut mak bapak perempuan tu yang carikan untuk dia.
That's what I keep saying.
Mak bapak perempuan tu yang kena carikan jodoh untuk perempuan tu. Bukannya
tanggungjawab wali.
Tanggungjawab wali. I mean in my class, this is every time he will keep on harping and say it's the father's duty. I mean, we're talking on a, again, normal bell curve, decent family, not a broken family. Ni bukan, jangan pula nanti kan ada orang cakap bapa aku dah cerai dengan mak aku, dia dah, he left us when we were young and you expect him to look. Bukan, not that kind of father, you know. This is a normal happy family ni. It's supposed to be the father yang kena tu, yang kena cari. So yeah.
Oh, sensitive.
No,
We're heading into dangerous grounds.
Business.
Difficult business, bro. Susah, bro. Soal hati ni.
Soal
Soal
hati,
hati, soal family, duit, it's all in one.
I mean, for me, the reason why I agreed to this is just on the finance part.
Okay, so all right. So let's get back on the finance punya question. So your one tip is your first tip is have a definite number, a goal to.
No, first tip is to get orang yang kufu.
Sekufu. Ambil sekufu dulu.
Ambil sekufu is most important. Second tip is you kena have proper financial planning, right? Lepas tu you kena bersyukur untuk Allah increasekan lagi the barakah.
Okay, alright.
So, 3 tips.
Bila berkah tu dia jadi cukup lah sebab dia berkat.
Yes.
Berkat tu akan mencukupkan.
Berkat tu boleh menambahkan lagi.
Mencukupkan lah. Yeah. So syukur and sedekah. Would you say sedekah is one way to
murahkan rezeki? There are various ways to murahkan your rezeki. Selawat, duha, sedekah, give when you need. When you need, then you give. And my lecturer pernah ask me, he challenged me. Dia cakap, why don't you give 10 ringgit as charity one day, and throughout the day watch how Allah gives you back more than 10 ringgit. So I did that, not to challenge Allah, but to see his promise. I bagi the 10 ringgit. I still remember during that day, petang tu ada orang hantar, you know, dekat office, dia bawa macam cake ke apa, cupcake or something. Satu tu dah lebih 10 ringgit lah. I'm like, wow. Amazing.
And I keep reminding the viewers, jodoh juga rezeki. Kan? Jodoh pasangan juga rezeki. So kita nak Allah murahkan rezeki. Duit bukan sahaja, banyak jenis rezeki. Jodoh, duit dan sebagainya. So kita nak murahkan rezeki, kita sedekah. Kita nak jodoh datang, insyaAllah sedekah. InsyaAllah Allah mudahkan rezeki jodoh kita tu.
Dah kahwin pun tak semestinya that's the only one. Mungkin akan ada problem ke apa semua kan. I mean, you know, but it's not about ada problem je terus nak cerai ke apa semua. Nak kata tunggu sampai dapat lepas tu memang takkan ada masalah, then that's another BS lah.
Yeah, true. Kena manage expectation.
Sedangkan lidah sendiri boleh tergigit, apatah lagi lidah isteri.
Okay. That's another topic. Itu the after talk show. Okay, so sekufu. I think we should have a discussion about sekufu in another video. And sekufu have a definite amount of money. Bincang, what is the amount that you need to get? Nak kumpul. And one of the instrument you mentioned is
ESB. ESB financing.
And so, and then what was the next step was? Syukur and sedekah.
Jangan sekali-kali terlibat dalam skim cepat kaya.
Sekarang banyak gila skim cepat kaya.
And the red flag is very simple to see. more than 2-3% per annum, confirm skim cepat kaya. Okay lah, ASB could be
Guaranteed.
ASB pun about 6 to 7 to 8%. That's very good deal to go on. That's why I keep on harping on that. Fixed deposit is about 1.5% sekarang ni. I'm talking all Islamic Kita Muslim, we don't have an option to go for conventional punya benda. Kita Muslim, we mesti ambil the patuh syariah punya produk, right? But the moment you tengok the profit rate is more than 6%, 6% is only ASB lah, I think. Anything other than that, normal fixed deposit ke apa semua, is about 3% tops lah kalau long term. Maybe 1.5% untuk ni. The moment you tengok business yang boleh buat lebih daripada tu, red flag, scam, forex trading ni apa semua. I mean, I don't know, I haven't checked on it, but it's high risk, high gain lah.
Well, I have friends and who's done those type of trading. Basically, those platform, the information that they relay to us, basically like a casino lah. Information that relay to the traders is delayed and manipulated so that you lose money. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but at the end of the day, the house wins.
Yeah.
So
macam I think Bitcoin punya finance punya trading ni apa semua pun is very volatile. Unless you really know the market well, I wouldn't recommend normal layman people to invest in something that is very volatile. You need to, because you punya duit banyak tu je. Unless you ada banyak duit, you nak cuba main-main sikit lah, RM100 ke apa ke, then okay lah, nak test out to see the market macam mana apa semua. But other than that, go for steady punya growth. And I mean, there's a lot of unit trust apa semua, but still unit trust quite risky. You need to understand the business. So I would suggest you go for apa nama ni, macam ASB financing. Very more steady.
So can you just make clear the difference between saving and investing?
Saving means you keep your money dekat bank account, your savings account lah. You simpan duit in the savings account, the deposit account. Islamically, there are the certain principles, but the difference is that the rate is low, very low. Profit rate dia very low. Investment is when you keep in things yang long digestive period, and there's a higher risk sharing punya element. And if the business is good, then kalau they make a lot of profit, then you get to share the profit more. Deposit ni, savings ni is more low risk punya, low return. Investment is usually slightly higher risk, slightly higher return. The higher the risk, the higher the return lah.
Yeah, definitely.
So my best bet untuk orang yang nak kahwin is to invest in, as I mentioned earlier, do that. Target about 5 years, 3 years, apa semua kan. InsyaAllah you get a good saving punya amount.
So, I mean, probably the viewers are asking, hey, ingat nak bagi tip-tip pelaburan dan tip-tip, duit dan sebagainya.
Ada apa? Tip pelaburan ASB financing,
yes.
Quite very detailed punya analysis of kalau you simpan sebulan berapa, kalau you ambil financing, the return macam mana. We can buka lah ringgit plus ke apa, tengok dia punya work. There's a lot of write-ups ASB financing, faedah kepada ASB financing, bukan faedah bunga interest, the benefit.
I understand. I mean, ingat nak bagi 3, nanti the viewers cakap, ingat nak bagi 3 jenis pelaburan punya tip. No. So, I mean, the key here is, yes, there are instruments, true. Tapi kalau tak bersyukur, tak berkat, tak bercukup lah. Kan? Dan kalau kita cari itu tak sekufu, kita tak tahu macam mana nak cari dengan tak tahu kita punya kufu level lah kita kat mana, dan pun tak cukup kan. Kalau aku nak kahwin puteri Gunung Ledang, apa nak aku nak cari jantung nyamuk.
Be honest to yourself. Honesty. You need to tell yourself, you assess yourself, how much am I actually worth to get your kufu level? How much is she my kufu in assessing?
So start with self-assessment.
You can discuss, you can sit down and discuss, and then then tengok macam tanya soalan ni apa semua ni, then you boleh tahulah you punya level kan. Tapi the problem sekarang ni, perempuan tak jumpa orang untuk nak duduk discuss pun.
Yeah. That is the one of the main challenges.
That's the challenge. Dia tak jumpa lelaki yang dia boleh duduk dan discuss. Kalau dia jumpa, sure dia akan tanya.
And ada juga problem where macam tak kisahlah asalkan dia terima saya seadanya. That is a red flag also.
Bukan red flag. You dah discount diri you too much.
Yeah. So aku bagi contoh di mana, okay, katakan terima seadanya, you terima apa-apa je lah. Terima apa-apa je lah. Okay, contoh je ni you pergi restoran, you cakap ke waiter tu, minta lah apa-apa je lah, aku terimalah seadanya. Kan? And lepas tu waiter tu bagi ashtray. This is not what I wanted. So what did you want? So what do you want? Kan? Tu penting. You have to know what you want, and your own punya kena self-assessment pun kena penting. Okay, alright. So, alright, dah 10:30. So, thank you for staying. Syok, lama tak borak. Kau tidak borak dalam WhatsApp je, just exchanging jokes. Okay, so
thank you for having me.
Yeah, so kita just to recap, kita mencukupi janji, janji ditepati. 3 tip untuk atasi jodoh lambat. One is syukur, alright, syukur, and then have a definite plan, and start with sukufu. Know level macam mana, manage expectation, how much you need to kumpul, have a definite number, and then and there's a way to simpan duit, which is suggested is ASB financing. So that's second. Third
one
is
option lah. That's not the only option. It's one
of the options, because we only have a short time. Maybe we can, if you want me to bring Dr. Syed Adam again, please message me, WhatsApp. All right. And then the third one was first kufu, second strategi lah. Strategi. It's not just macam kerja kuat, tapi kena cara minta ke Allah tu kena betul. Bukan minta macam it's like why you do this. Bukan komplain, tapi minta dengan betul. Ada adab dia nak minta dengan Allah. Okay, alright. So thank you very much, bro. So those are the 3 tips untuk atasi jodoh lambat, insyaAllah. Sebenarnya tips banyak. Kita malam ni limited to 3. Ni pun dah overrun by 30 minutes. Okay, so yes.
Semoga yang mana yang mencari jodoh akan jumpa jodoh. InsyaAllah. Kita doakan yang terbaik.
So the purpose of this videos aku buat malam-malam ni sebenarnya to prepare people to feel ready. So bila jodoh datang, they already prepared. Kan? Kang dah jumpa orang tapi tak tahu nak tanya apa, duit tak simpan lagi, tak ada plan. So kalau dia jumpa the guy, and the guy pun macam tak ada plan, entah kahwin je lah, bahaya. And so hopefully we can do this another round, insyaAllah, if you're free. Sorry for running late, half an hour. Dah syok borak.
Nana pun dah lari ya?
Dah lari dah. Advisor pun lari.
Advisor dah lari. Sekarang aku boleh cakap apa aku suka.
Oh, ada user cakap, best topik hari ni. Terima kasih doktor dan coach. Alright, so if you have any more questions, specific questions, especially financial base because Dr. Syed Adam is PhD in Islamic finance. Okay, uh, please ask me, send me the questions, and then maybe we can have another round based on your questions. All right. So
Second round.
second round, round two, yeah, more detail.
Deep dive.
Deep dive.
Uh,
Okay, alright. So, insyaAllah, knowledge yang kalau tidak, how much would you charge for tonight? Kalau tidak mahal ni, saya Adam, seorang doktor, lawyer, bagi talk mahal. So, thank you for doing it.
hourly. Kau nak hourly rate ke?
Okay, what is your hourly rate?
1K lah.
Huh? Okay.
1K.
1K. So, I hope I don't owe
Itu
you
at a very discounted rate lah.
1,500 I owe you.
Ah.
Alright, so you got 1,500 ringgit worth of knowledge for free tonight from Dr. Syed Adam and Nak Jodoh Coach Zuri Yui. So, siapa nak lagi value, you have to ask me questions and then we'll have another topic dengan Dr. Syed Adam insyaAllah. So, WhatsApp to me. This is my number. My number is. So, aku tiap malam bagi homework, bro. Sebab nak tahu, give them a chance to ikhtiar lagi, nak dapat gain knowledge lagi kan. Ilmu tanpa
nak dapat knowledge is not easy, bro.
Kan?
It's never easy to get knowledge. Free knowledge is the moment you usaha untuk nak dapat the knowledge, masa tu lah dia melekat kat dalam.
Yes, true.
Especially kalau you dapat cikgu yang garang, cikgu yang tough teachers apa semua kan. Actually no. Any teachers, tough, yang lembut apa semua. The knowledge tu, the usaha tu, the effort, the ikhlas. It goes both ways lah. The teacher must be ikhlas and the student must be ikhlas. Memang akan dapat. Tak kira lah dia garang ke, dia cengih ke, dia lembut ke. Kalau dua-dua ikhlas, insyaAllah knowledge tu melekat.
True. So, I hope everyone here appreciate dan terima dengan ikhlas ilmu yang dah di-share malam ni. Kan? And show me and show us that you appreciate by thanking us by asking more questions. Because we want you to benefit, insyaAllah. And
yes. I agree with your method. Ask questions, because by asking we learn.
True.
Yeah. Your question, the audience punya question will make us learn.
That's definitely true. The more when we teach, we understand better.
By question.
Can. What you gain is not just knowledge from textbook. This is experience on real life punya, situation, and so that you don't make the mistakes what other people do. So you are on a fast track of Nak Jodoh and financial punya planning. Okay, so.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks, bro.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, man.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Take care. My regards to the chicks.
My regards to your wife and hugs and kisses for your kids.
All right, will do.
Okay, bye.
All right, take care, man. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. So, hourly rate dia 1,000 an hour. So he just basically gave us 1,500 worth of knowledge, and you got it for free. And hope you show appreciation by sending us more questions. So send more questions, what you want to know, what you're curious about. You nak belajar apa lagi? Because he's a man with a lot of experience. He looks young. Hello, he looks young. Okay, especially dengan rambut panjang tu. Usually dekat legal firm dia pun, klien datang, oh, who's that young lawyer? No, he's not young. Dia nampak muda. Okay, so he has a lot of experience. Please send more questions. All right, show appreciation for what has been shared. Ask more questions. This is your ikhtiar untuk mendapatkan jodoh lagi. Okay, so you are prepared. When the time comes, you just You know what to do. This is preparation. All right. So, thank you. Ooh, more questions coming. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Thank you for asking the questions. Alright, so insyaAllah tomorrow night kita sambung lagi. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. My tekak pun dah kering. Okay, so thank you for joining. Saya nak jodoh coach. Minta you hantar financial questions. You ask questions, you will understand. Yeah, you understand better what you're thinking, what you know, what you don't know, what clarity that you need. So homework. Okay, this is my number. WhatsApp. And join our Telegram. Join our Telegram, which is username adalah nak jodoh, where kita akan post balik this audio on Telegram, so you boleh dengar lah esok as like a radio dan sebagainya. And yeah, and we can discuss further on Telegram. All right, so cool. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate you, the watchers, viewers here, and thank you. And I pun suka sebab I dapat pahala bila share ilmu. So I dapat pahala. Thank you for the opportunity to share ilmu with you. Alright, so okay, so sebelum saya undur diri, kita baca doa dulu. Baca doa. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah, aku minta pasangan yang menjadi menantu yang baik pada ibu bapaku, yang disayangimu untuk mendapat keredaan-Mu, berganding bahu bersama ke jannah-Mu, ya Allah. Amin. Type amin. Type amin. Type amin. Amin, kita amin sama sendiri. Alright, so alhamdulillah, questions coming in. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow night, insyaAllah. Ingat, cinta diri, cinta mari. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye. Assalamualaikum. Tata. Amin. Bye.